Boom. We are recording. Okay. So, what we had some great stories around last week in our homework assignment in terms of looking for an opportunity to enact instead of commit, I guess, enact a gesture of kindness of some sort. And I really thank those of you who shared with us, and we've encouraged each other as a group that that's just something that we're going to keep doing going forward. And I think that's just a great thing to go around spreading kindness around. The world definitely needs a little bit more of that. Okay, today, what I want to talk about, and I have a couple of examples that I want to share, is the power. And the more I started thinking about this, I'm like, damn, it all ties together. Okay, I have always said to my kids, and hopefully they eventually listen to this segment, but I have always said to them, and I don't remember where exactly I heard it, but it's an old cliche kind of thing. Whether you believe you can or you believe you cannot, you're right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's just a simple saying. And it's something that I really think like, right. It's all right here. It's all right here. And a couple things that kind of got me going with the thinking on this. And one of them is I can see us like say I'm ordering some tacos and they start throwing the salsa on there. I'll start to sweat. I will
Thank you.
start to, I swear to God, I
Yeah.
will start to sweat because my body knows what's coming. It's like, woohoo, that's going to heat us right up. And that's the mind. There's
Yeah.
nothing triggering that, right? You know what I'm saying? That's my
100%.
mind. It just kind of made me laugh. I'm like, wow, that's a powerful thing, right? Like just the sight of it trigger, right? Like, because I
Yep.
already know my expectation is da 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 da, right? Belief, right?
Yep.
Then the other thing that kind of had me thinking about this was, well, another example for me, and then I'm gonna skip to an example for Evie. So I've talked about this before, and it's a very interesting study for me in terms of like there's something psychological to it, and I bet if I really dug into it and started thinking about it, there's some childhood event, some childhood trauma, if you will, that's kind of associated with it. But when I'm doing dishes, I tend to get tense, and I start to have like weird thoughts go through my mind, negative thoughts go through my mind, and we've talked about it before about the inner whiner, the inner negative dude who starts yipping and yapping and starts, telling me these bad things. And what will happen is if I go off onto a tangent thought about something negative, like, oh man, that dude cut me off today and whatever else. And what'll happen is as I'm doing washing a cup or the whole plate or whatever, I'll fumble it. I'll fumble it into the sink. I lose focus and maybe I'm putting more pressure or I don't know what it is, but all of a sudden, like I'll drop the dish and it's like, I don't, it's not like they shatter. I don't drop it onto the floor, but I somehow,
You
yeah, I
create
lose
that
my
energy.
I create energy, and it's
Yes.
all thought. It's all thought, right? I'm like, damn, and I actively fight that now. I'm aware of it, and so when it happens, I start like, giving
Give my
myself positive, sayings, or I'll put on some music or something to kind of clear my head, and because at the end of the day, I like getting the dishes done as part of a good routine for me, but somehow my brain gets going and some kind of thoughts and beliefs that happen in my brain throw me off course, right? So okay, that's a couple examples for me. Then uh I think all of you know the other day at work, Evie had an incident and she fainted slash passed out. We're not exactly sure what happened. And she, the doctors ran all kinds of tests. Everything seems okay. She's doing fine now. And it just seemed like kind of a fluky thing. And we all thought immediately hydration. And, she wasn't, or she didn't feel certainly dehydrated. And she felt like she had been eating. So it wasn't like blood sugar or some of kind of the normal, things that will cause that. And so, but in talking to her, what she explained to me is right before it happened, she was listening to an audio book hopefully Costco doesn't hear me because she'll be in trouble. But she's listening to an audio book, and it's David Goggins, which is a whole other factor of all this. And David Goggins is the former Navy SEAL. He's an extreme athlete. He runs like super marathons. I think he currently holds the world record for pull-ups. And this one of the things that he was talking about was his attempt to get the world record. I think it's a world record over a 24-hour period, and he has some ungodly number of pull-ups, like thousands, 4,000, 7,000. I don't remember what the number is, but what he was describing was in the process. I think it was his first attempt to beat the record. He didn't quite get it. And I think this is what he's describing, if I remember correctly in the book. And what he's talking about is what where he ran into problems wasn't the fatigue in the muscles, but his hands. And he's talking in this particular part about how his hands were like just torn up hamburger meat, all chewed up and raw and rough. And now he's got to jump back up there and, do, I don't know how many, what was the increment he's doing, 50, 100? I don't even know at this point, but he's having to keep going. And he's talking about the pain and how skin is peeling off, and he gets real graphic and he's talking about it, and Evie's listening to it. And right after that, she passed out. And I'm thinking, you know what? I bet you it may not have been the only factor, right? Maybe she was tired. Maybe just some things were kind of catching up to her, something like that. But I guarantee that power of the mind, what she's hearing, she's visualizing, she's picturing like, oh God, that's so gross. And those kind of things, right? Kind of spike your adrenaline or whatever the case is. And she went out. So it really made me start thinking. And then I was like, weird that I'm even on this, because that's all Goggins talks about is mindset. And if you could get past some of the graphic things that guy talks about in terms of, the bloody nature of what this and that. And, he really gets into it. He doesn't hold back. His filter is pretty minimal, but he talks about where going through the SEALs training. I hope you guys don't hear the dogs yapping over here. Going through SEALs training and all the challenges that he was able to overcome mentally. This dude went through there and had like literally broken legs and kept running and showing up on broken legs. Because with the SEALs, even if you get seriously, legitimately injured, doing what they're asking you to do, they don't go, oh, that's cool, you get a couple weeks off. They're like, all right, like, I'm sorry that happened to you, you're out. And like, that's it. You may not get another chance back. You might, but you might not. And so with that on the line and everything, this dude, he talks about the mental toughness and how he believes that he overcame a lot of things. It's a great book, but again, it got me on that whole topic of like, what you actually believe, what you actually have going on in your life, and the power of the mindset and the power of whether you believe you can or you believe you can't. You're right. And that's and that's his thing. And a lot of us, it's all what is your belief in where, what it is, your belief. I'm going to speak to myself. My beliefs are limiting me because I believe that I could reach a certain level, but somewhere at some point, my belief says I can't get to another level. I can't get higher somewhere, right? It's not what I necessarily think consciously, but somewhere along the way, my beliefs have dictated to me. And we've talked about this in terms of paradigm and all that in the past, but your belief is affecting you right now. And then here's another quote that I wanted to share with you guys that I thought, wow, man, this is all super relevant. And this is a quote back to the book, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, Bob Proctor. And he's actually quoting a friend. I tried to capture what the friend's name was, but I missed it. But he says, the quote from his friend is our belief system is based on our evaluation of something. And frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about that situation will change. Let me repeat that again. Our belief system, whatever it is, just think of a particular belief that you have, and we all have thousands of them, right? And just whatever it is. Our belief system is based on our evaluation of something. And frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about that situation will change. I can tell you this is a fact, 100% fact. If you got a belief locked into your mind, I don't know what the number is, more than 5 years ago, certainly more than 10, it's time to reevaluate that belief, whatever it is, because you've changed. The world has changed. Everything has changed since you locked that belief in. And I think sometimes that's kind of the challenge for all of us is that for whatever reason, we've come across these different things and we believe whatever it is. I do not like, I'm just going to say I'm just making things up, right? So I do not like onions. I haven't liked onions since I was a kid. I'll never like onions. Do I really know that still? Like, have I tried onion? Have I tried a different, you understand what I'm saying? Everything, anything, pick anything. And reevaluate it. But the key is you have to go in with an open mind, right? Because we already tell ourselves our paradigm is set in terms of what we tell ourselves around our beliefs. And remember, whether we believe we can or we believe we can't, we're right. So if your belief is locked in on something, how could that ever change? It just can't. It won't, right? So we're going to spend a couple weeks on this, and we're going to begin to chip away. And what my challenge is this week, real simple, real simple. Here's a couple things I want you to start to think about. And I don't know that we should really necessarily try to hone it in, but maybe we should. And maybe we should kind of start thinking about, one or two things and start thinking about what you believe about it and just pick an example of something. What it is that you believe about it. Why do you believe what you believe about it? And when did that belief begin? Right? So if you just decided yesterday that you don't like something, you probably haven't changed. But if it's old and it's stale and it's been sitting around, especially if maybe it's limiting you somehow, right? And that's a tricky thing. But I want us all to begin to assess that concept about what things are there, what maybe we could change, maybe understand what I'm saying. So that's kind of where I want to go. So our homework is we're thinking about all this is for us to pick one thing, as we're going to think about a lot of things, but when we come back next week, I want us each to have picked one thing that we're going to begin to dig into, a belief that we hold about ourselves, about other people, about a group of people, about certain kinds of food. I don't know what the case may be, but let's all pick something that we're just going to really reapproach with an open mind and reassess, reevaluate our assessment of the situation. I just tore up my coat to reevaluate the situation and then see if that our belief in that situation changes as we truthfully reevaluate. So that's it. That's our homework for the week. Jill, I appreciate you jumping on the call. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you again for sharing today. And this topic has kind of reignited in me and brought together some things that I've been thinking about around the whole paradigm prospect. So I'm excited to keep moving with this. I've already written down some notes for next week in terms of how do we change what we believe. So we're going to start the process with homework, just kind of thinking about it and thinking about maybe something. And next week we'll talk a little bit more about how we actually do that and what it takes. So love you guys. Have a great week. We will talk to you all very soon. And I appreciate you being here.